fight's going to happen now. What was your feelings going into that as Usyk comes in?
Thank you.
Did you know how many people I boxed in front of at Wembley Stadium?
Sorry?
I boxed at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people were there? Yeah, 80,000. 80.
John Fury almost brawls with Carl Froch at fight press conference face OFF, and what unfolded was absolutely shocking. Fury looked ready to explode, eyes blazing and tension boiling over. For a moment, it genuinely felt like punches were coming. This wasn't staged drama. It was raw, uncontrolled fury in front of everyone. Carl Froch says John Fury embarrasses himself and creates drama for no reason. He says if things get physical, he is ready to defend himself and handle it properly. To be fair, John Fury looks out of control. All that shouting and lunging just makes him seem attention-hungry rather than genuinely intimidating.
He did nothing. He just made a of himself. Again, don't get me wrong, if it came on top and he came to my face and he tried anything, I'd have to defend myself. And trust me, I can defend.
Eddie Hearn disagrees with Carl Froch and criticizes overreactions. He implies that defending yourself is one thing, but John Fury storming the press conference made him look reckless. Creating chaos like that distracts from boxing and makes Fury seem desperate rather than genuinely intimidating in front of everyone.
Running his own YouTube channel and sort of criticising stuff, I think his comments about the Saudi stuff and the atmosphere, I don't really get it. Like, we know that the atmosphere is not as good as it is in the UK or in Phoenix for a big Mexican fight, but it's an emerging market, and I really disagree.
Carl Froch points out that defending yourself is different from acting foolish. He compares it to proper fighters handling real threats. Big John Fury, however, hasn't fought in decades and looks all talk. Charging forward and trying to intimidate only makes him seem reckless and laughable rather than a real threat in that press conference.
David Haye and Derek Chisora at the press conference, when Chisora came to David Haye and David Haye put a right hand and a big left hook elbow onto the chin. That's what you've got to do. If somebody's coming to you and coming into your face, you've got to defend yourself. When you've got nowhere else to go, you've got to let the shots go. And if Big John Fury, the fighting man, who's never had a fight in his life, not for the last 20 years anyway, if he comes for me looking for some aggro, trust me.
Johnny Nelson highlights the consequences John Fury faces if he loses control again. He points out that Fury's actions aren't just reckless but costly, both financially and reputationally. It's clear Nelson sees Fury's outburst as unnecessary drama. Froch, on the other hand, stays calm and composed, proving experience beats hot-headed antics every time.
And if he does it again and he's over, he's going to get fined again. And I don't know if it's by the pound, by the ounce, what he's getting fined for, but it's an expense.
Big John Fury boasts about his authority and insists nobody can challenge him. He acts like the center of the universe, but honestly it comes off as desperate posturing. Claiming he built the story around his son only makes him look egotistical rather than commanding respect. Froch, calm and measured, clearly outshines this theatrical nonsense.
On there, I just want to tell him that, you know what, you can't knock me, mate. Disrespect me and I'm going to take the job over. I don't care who it is. You disrespect me and I'm taking the job over. And nobody can stop me because I got a right to be there because I'm his father. I'm not some idiot. If it wasn't for me, who built the full story around him, what would there be? I'm a big player in this.
Big John Fury's antics are crossing into pure absurdity. Flaunting in such a ridiculous way doesn't intimidate anyone and makes him look desperate for attention. While Fury focuses on theatrics, Carl Froch remains calm and composed, proving that measured professionalism always wins over loud, chaotic posturing.
father of the king of the world. I think he's referring to Tyson Fury. You know, when you have kids, you know, most people, when they want to talk about their children, they might pull their mobile phone out and show a few pictures. Big John just shows you his balls. That's where they came from. If there's anyone who needs a Manscaped advert, it's fucking John Fury. Always on about the balls.
Carl Froch points out that John Fury's behavior went beyond posturing and actually felt threatening. He shows composure while highlighting the recklessness of Fury's loose threats. This moment proves Froch's mental strength and professionalism, standing firm under pressure while Fury's chaos only exposes his lack of control and judgment.
Actually, quite, if I was a bit of a snowflake, then I'd have been upset, I'd have been offended by it, because it was threatening, he was calling it on, and he was saying basically watch your back, and you don't want to go back to prison. So he needs to be careful, doesn't he? I mean, he's talking about going back to prison, so he's putting loose threats out there for me.
Eddie Hearn highlights just how out of control John Fury's behavior has become. The fact that security might need to physically separate him from Carl Froch shows that Fury is more focused on intimidation than reason. Froch, in contrast, doesn't need theatrics or threats to command respect. His calm, calculated presence proves experience and professionalism beat reckless aggression every time. Fury's over-the-top antics only create chaos and draw attention to himself, whereas Froch quietly demonstrates authority and control. The boxing world can clearly see who's truly composed under pressure.
You honestly think if these two come together like this, you know what's going to happen?
So what you going to?
I'm going to keep them apart by a wall of security.
Ade Oladipo points out the sheer recklessness of John Fury charging forward. It's unclear whether he intended to actually attack or just make a scene, but the result was pure chaos. This kind of behavior doesn't inspire fear, it invites ridicule. Meanwhile, Carl Froch stays composed and professional, handling the situation with dignity. Fury's impulsive theatrics may entertain some, but in the eyes of true boxing fans, it exposes him as loud and undisciplined. Froch's calm approach proves that authority and respect in boxing come from skill and composure, not posturing and threats.
Being John Fury went straight for him. I'm not quite sure what he was going to do if he got to him, but I guess that was the entertainment from the press conference.
Frank Warren criticizes the unnecessary chaos that John Fury brought to the press conference. The focus should be on the fight and the athletes, not on theatrics and intimidation. Fury's behavior overshadowed the real story, making him look unprofessional. Carl Froch, on the other hand, remains the model of composure and maturity. While Fury's antics create headlines, they do nothing to enhance his credibility. Warren's reaction underscores how true professionals see through empty posturing. Froch's measured, confident responses continue to earn respect both inside the boxing community and among fans, proving experience and discipline always shine brighter than chaos.
Like it, people think because you're a promoter you like all that stuff. Me, I didn't like what happened.
John Fury claims he's only after respect, yet his words come across as egotistical and overbearing. Demanding attention and authority without reason makes him appear desperate rather than admirable. His fixation on himself overshadows the real boxing discussion. Carl Froch, by contrast, lets his actions and words speak for him. While Fury is busy shouting and demanding recognition, Froch demonstrates that respect is earned through skill, composure, and professionalism. Fury's tantrums may make headlines, but they erode his credibility. The contrast between Fury's posturing and Froch's calm control could not be clearer to anyone watching closely.
Middle finger, well guess what, I ain't standing for it.
And
I want no money, I want nothing, I don't want any fame, I fuck sweet all. What I want is some respect put on the back of my name. That's me dad, he deserves a chair, he deserves a mention. But he's blinded with all this bullshit, isn't he?
Johnny Nelson suggests that John Fury's antics may have backfired, as Carl Froch is calm, ready, and fully aware of how to respond. Fury stirred the crowd and generated buzz, but excitement alone doesn't win respect. Froch's composed, strategic mindset contrasts sharply with Fury's impulsive behavior. While Fury thrives on spectacle, Froch proves that preparation, skill, and measured reactions define a true professional. Nelson acknowledges the chaos Fury created, but also hints that Froch's controlled strength gives him the upper hand. This reinforces the narrative that class and experience always beat reckless aggression.
Watch on fighting because I'm quite sure Carl's going to rip the life out of John after today. I think John did a job. John did a job and got the excitement going, got people talking. That's exactly what he did.
This moment underlines just how reckless John Fury really is. Striking someone at a press event isn't strength, it's pure lack of discipline and control. Froch, in contrast, doesn't need to escalate. He commands attention through his calm presence and experience. Fury's impulsive behavior brings nothing but fines, controversy, and ridicule. Every punch he throws in anger highlights ego over intelligence, whereas Froch stays composed, thinking 3 steps ahead. Fans can see clearly who has the mental edge, and it's not the man lashing out. Froch proves that composure, professionalism, and measured responses are far more powerful than uncontrolled theatrics, and this moment only reinforces why he is respected in the boxing world.
Actually, so there will be an appeal taking place. So that fine could be reduced or it could be increased. It goes in front of a completely independent appeal steward.
Adam Smith's words perfectly illustrate the contrast between Fury and Froch. John Fury thrives on chaos, loud posturing, and attention-seeking antics, always trying to dominate the room with aggression and theatrics. Carl Froch, by contrast, doesn't need to shout or threaten to prove a point. He commands respect effortlessly through composure, intelligence, and experience. While Fury's behavior may entertain some fans and make headlines, it exposes a lack of discipline and maturity. Froch demonstrates the rare skill of remaining calm under pressure, thinking strategically while others react impulsively. It's clear to anyone watching that Froch is the professional here, and every interaction only reinforces that real authority in boxing comes from mastery and mental strength, not loud theatrics or empty threats.
What I do know is that John Fury and Carl Froch on the cobbles will be fun. I think they both have a good fun doing that, but I'm sure it's all fun and games. They like to say what they believe, they like to say something that's controversial, and they're 2 big characters, and we love having them around the sport.
Spencer Oliver's reaction shows the sheer chaos John Fury creates wherever he goes, charging at multiple people including legends like Lennox Lewis. This is reckless behavior disguised as intimidation. Froch doesn't need to resort to such theatrics. He maintains calm, measured control, and lets his skill and presence do the talking. Fury's aggression may scare some at first, but it's ultimately predictable and exposes his lack of composure. Froch's mental strength is evident here, as he doesn't respond to provocation but observes, plans, and controls the narrative. Fans watching closely can clearly see who is the professional and who is simply acting out. Froch's ability to stay calm under pressure reinforces why he is respected and feared in the boxing community.
John Fury, Carl Froch, who wins that one?
Difficult one to call, that, isn't it? You got to go with a Cobra. You got to go with a Cobra, mate.
Really?
The Cobra's dangerous. He's still in shape. 48 years of age.
John's standing over there behind you.
You got to go with John Fury. Yeah, no, it kicked off a little bit. But it wasn't only Carl Froch that he went into either, did he? He actually went into Lennox Lewis as well. He started steaming into Lennox Lewis a little bit, and I go, whoa, who wins that one?
Shane Fury's words expose the reality behind his father's behavior. Talking tough online is one thing, but acting impulsively in person shows insecurity and lack of self-control. John Fury's confrontational style creates spectacle, but it does nothing to inspire real respect. Carl Froch, on the other hand, thrives on calm intelligence and mental strength, handling threats with dignity and authority. Fury's constant theatrics only make him look desperate for validation, while Froch demonstrates that real power comes from measured responses and professionalism. Watching this unfold, it becomes obvious who is truly in control, and who is just making noise. Froch continues to prove that composure and experience always beat reckless aggression in every professional scenario.
Seems to be like you can talk about someone online and do videos, but not expect someone to say anything when you see someone. So I don't know. Listen, my dad's got his ways and his points, and 90% of the time he's half right, but listen.
The showdown between John Fury and Carl Froch is more than just a press conference confrontation. It is a test of composure, strategy, and mental strength. John Fury may have caused chaos, thrown threats, and grabbed headlines with his antics, but that does not translate into real boxing power or respect in the eyes of fans and professionals alike. Carl Froch stands out as the true professional. His calm demeanor and measured responses show that experience and intelligence always outweigh impulsive aggression. Fury may believe that loudness and theatrics can intimidate, but every outburst only exposes his lack of control and reliance on ego. Froch, on the other hand, has proven time and again that staying composed under pressure, reading opponents, and reacting with precision is what separates champions from loud spectators. If Fury somehow gains the upper hand, it would be shocking but improbable given Froch's mental edge and ring craft. The boxing world sees who wants it more and who commands respect without shouting. The question now is whose strategy will prevail and whose composure will carry the day. Quick question: whose side are you on? Let us know below and join the debate in the comments.